Have you ever asked yourself one of the following questions? Why do some women attract high-quality men, while other women end up with men who are complete losers? And have you ever asked yourself this question? How can I become the woman who naturally and easily and effortlessly attracts quality men? That's what I want to share with you today. Because I want to share with you the 7 habits of women who attract quality men. And while I was preparing the outline for this wonderful episode, I thought about my girlfriend. And I know a lot of you might disagree with me when I say I'm a quality guy. I mean, I'm not Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I'm also not a billionaire. However, I'm pretty successful. I'm very empathetic. And I have a very fulfilling relationship with my girlfriend. And that's why, because I want to see the world positive and also myself in a positive light, I just assume for a moment, please play that game with me, that I am such a quality man. And that's why it was very easy for me to look at my girlfriend and to think to myself, what habits does this woman have so that she could attract moi? And I know now you might be saying, oh, facepalm, Sebastian, you're not a quality man. Of course, the definition of a quality man is totally different for every woman. However, please bear with me, this is just an example. And I then thought about, what kind of qualities does my girlfriend have? What kind of person is she? What is it that attracts me to her so much? And don't get me wrong, she's a very beautiful woman. I am physically attracted to her, but it's about so much more. There are so many beautiful women out there, but about her, there's something else. In fact, there are a lot of things that are different than with other women who I've met. And that's why I'm so incredibly happy with her. And I then thought to myself, what if I share these exact habits with you so that you can attract a guy who's way more high quality than me? That's what I want to do today. And it all starts with what you value. Do you value self-actualization and independence? And now you might be saying, oh, Sebastian, I don't think that men value independent women. Yes, they do. So many of my coaching clients believe that high-quality men do not want an independent woman, but that's not the case at all. What they don't want is a woman who says, I'm independent, I don't need a man, I don't want a man. That's the attitude that doesn't get you a high-quality man. But if you have the attitude, I want a man, I need a man in my life for companionship, I want this man to love me, to be there for me, but at the same time, I want to also be my own person. I want to have my own bank account, I want to have my own business/career, I want to be independent from him. Then I can guarantee you that a lot of men, especially very successful men, who are always in this kind of fear mentality of, does she just like me for my money? Would she be with me if I wasn't that financially successful? Especially these type of guys will really appreciate your independence. And that's also something that I appreciate about my girlfriend. My girlfriend has her own job, she also has a business on the side, and she has her own money. And she made it clear from the get-go that she's not interested in me because of my money. I mean, I'm not crazy rich, but I am quite successful. And for me as a successful guy, and also for other successful men who you might come in contact with, who you might want to date, this is an extreme brownie point. This is a plus point. It's a bonus, however you want to call it. And if you then also value your self-actualization, you are a woman who has certain goals. You want to work on yourself emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, and you want to improve, then you are vibrating on the same frequency as a lot of successful men. Because unless he has inherited a lot of money, if he's self-made, then it's very likely that self-actualization is very important for him, especially if he's a business owner and he started a business from scratch. And if you then have the same value, then you are a match made in heaven, and he will get the feeling, yes, this woman truly understands me. And of course, you don't just want him to understand you, you also want him to be so devoted to you that he doesn't even look at other women, that other women don't even exist for him. And yes, you can get him to that point. You can make him so incredibly devoted to you. And if you want to find out how you can do that, you can go to gethimkeephim.com/devoted, watch this incredible explainer video, and then you have the opportunity to invest in a program that can help you to make your dream guy absolutely devoted to you. And it's a program that I recommend to so many of my clients who want a man to commit to them, to fall in love with them, and to be devoted to them. And now let's have a look at the next habit of my girlfriend and also women who attract quality men. Yes, I still believe I'm a quality guy. Maybe I'm just completely insane, but in some sense I do believe that. But anyway, so you need space for yourself and for your spiritual and mental growth. In other words, you love being with him, you love being around him, but at the same time, you also want to at least sometimes be for yourself. You want to regulate your emotions. You want to maybe meditate. Maybe you want to journal a little bit. Maybe you want to work on your affirmations if you have a certain spiritual practice. And of course, having a spiritual practice doesn't necessarily mean that you are a very spiritual person or that you identify yourself as somebody who's spiritual. Maybe it just means that every now and then you want to go on long walks and think about life, think about yourself, and just have some me time. And if you have that, and if you can do that, and you communicate that to him, a lot of quality men will really, really appreciate that. Because one of the biggest fears that quality men have, and I know that because I have this fear, or let's say I had it before I met my girlfriend, and a lot of other guys who are way more successful than me, who I've discussed this with, told me the same thing. They're afraid that they're in a relationship with a woman who can't be on her own and who doesn't work on herself on her own. So in other words, if you're dating a guy who's really successful, who's making a lot of money, it's very likely that he just can't give you attention 24/7. That's just how it is. I mean, if you want a guy who can give you attention 24/7, then you must date a man who's a complete loser, living in his mom's basement and who never had a job in his life. But I doubt that you want that, because I know from so many Skype coaching sessions that my clients want to date successful men. And if you then communicate to your future boyfriend that you are okay with having this space, and you also give him that space, this can make you way more attractive for high quality men. And you know that your body is your temple. What does that mean? It means that you take care of your body in the same way as you take care of your mind. And of course, you should also expect the same from him. If you are, for example, dating a guy who's very ambitious, who's driven, and who also loves to do sports, who loves to go to the gym, who loves to work out, who loves to go on runs, and who loves to push himself and to achieve new goals in business and also with his physique, then I'm sorry to say it, but it's very likely that he also wants to date a woman who doesn't have to be on the same level, but who's at least interested in also working out and seeing her body as a temple, in eating healthy. If he, for example, also has an interest in eating healthy, you always have to ask yourself when you want to attract a man, what kind of woman does this kind of man want? So for example, I mean, that's an extreme example. I don't believe that you fall into this category, but I just want to use it as an example. If you have a terrible diet and you don't work out at all, but deep down, secretly, you want to date a guy who eats healthy and who has a great body, who's in shape and who works out, then there is a mismatch when it comes to compatibility and interests. And the more you see your body and also your mind, of course, as a temple, and you value yourself by giving yourself healthy food, by working out, by stretching, by doing something good for your body, the easier it will be for you to attract high quality men. And you are willing to own your mistakes and to remind your partner of his mistakes and his flaws. Unless you're dating a narcissist who's completely unable to own anything that he does wrong. Unless you do that, which of course you shouldn't do, and if you want me to help you to get out of such a relationship, then you can go to gethimkeephim.com/coaching and click on the button that says Breakup Recovery Coaching Session. I've helped a lot of women to get out of narcissistic relationships and to then start dating again after narcissistic relationships. But if you're willing to own your mistakes and you then at the same time allow your man to grow emotionally, spiritually, and mentally by also pointing out his flaws in an empathetic, non-judgmental way, this can make high-quality men incredibly attracted to you. Because the definition of a high-quality man is that this man wants to grow in every area. Of course, if he always blames you and he never wants to own his mistakes, then he's not a high-quality man. But to give you an example, sometimes when my girlfriend misunderstands me, she's a very sensitive person. And then when she reacts a little bit, you can say too emotional, she apologizes for that. And then at the same time, when I'm a little bit too German, you can say, a little bit too direct, because my girlfriend is not German, but if I'm then a little bit too direct and, I speak a little bit too direct as a German and I hurt her without actually wanting it, then she points that out. And then, of course, I can look at myself, I can look at what I did, and I can then apologize for it. In this way, it allows us both to grow. And that's an important part of dating a high-quality man. And you work on your insecurities, and at the same time you help your partner to overcome his insecurities. I truly believe that a relationship will get better and better the more you trust each other and the more you can both open up. So for example, you open up about your insecurities and you allow him to open up about his insecurities. And you then, with empathy, by supporting each other, by showing each other that you love each other, even though you might have flaws, either physical or either emotional, you then help each other to overcome these insecurities. And if you do that, especially at the beginning of a dating process, when you allow this guy to fully open up and to trust you and to share his deepest and darkest secrets with you, that's when he will fall in love with you, especially if you also make him devoted to you. And that's something that, like I said before, you can find out by going to gethimkeephim.com/devoted. And you develop emotional intelligence and learn to regulate your emotions. And of course, everything I mentioned in this episode is also important for him to learn and for him to do. But the Get Him Keep Him podcast is a podcast for women, so I primarily talk to you as a woman. And if you develop emotional intelligence and you learn to regulate your emotions, this helps you tremendously. And that's also something that I worked on for a very long time. I went through a very, I can say painful, but also freeing trauma healing journey. And on this journey, I learned to regulate my emotions. And the kind of arguments, if you can even call them arguments, that I have nowadays with my girlfriend when we have a disagreement, is always based on love, empathy, and understanding. In the past, in my past relationships, before I went through my trauma healing journey, that was not the case. But on this journey, I learned how to regulate my emotions and I developed emotional intelligence. And if you do that and you also encourage him to do the same, then you will never, ever be in a position where you throw things at each other, you scream at each other, because your emotional intelligence and your ability to regulate your emotions is way too high to ever get to this point. And that's also something that we can work on together in a Skype coaching session. I work on so many different areas with women who book Skype coaching sessions with me. I can help you to improve your current relationship. I can help you to attract the man of your dreams. And we can even do role plays. That's something that I often do with coaching clients, where we practice communication, conversation, body language, and I show you how you can become the most attractive version of yourself. And if you want to find out more about the different coaching sessions I also offer hypnosis sessions, by the way. I'm a certified hypnotist. Then you can go to gethimkeephim.com/coaching. And if you directly want to book a Skype coaching session in which we can talk about anything you want, then you can go to gethimkeephim.com/Skype. And yes, you can share everything you want to share with me about the man who you want to attract into your life, or about your boyfriend who you want to improve the relationship with. And I will then show you step by step how you can improve your relationship, or in case you are a single woman, how you can get and keep the man of your dreams. And the last habit that I want to share with you is you become a student of how men think, how men feel, and you then effortlessly attract the right man. The more you learn about men, the more you learn about the psychology of men, how they think, how they act, how they feel, which is exactly what you're doing by listening to the Get Him Keep Him podcast. But the more you do that, the better you will get at reading the signs, at seeing what kind of guy is good for you and what kind of guy is not good for you. And then you're also able to follow the principle of hiring slow and firing fast, which I absolutely love, which basically means that you take your time to get to know a man, and then as soon as you see red flags popping up, then you take the necessary action, because always remember, you deserve a quality man. You deserve a man who makes you happy and who you can have a fulfilling relationship with. And if you enjoyed watching this video, if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. Share your opinion, share your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. And I would love it even more if you would hit the subscribe button and smash that notification bell so that you get notified whenever I release a new video for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video.